You look at photos from when you were 5 years old, a birthday cake, a swing set, someone is holding your hand. But when you try to feel that moment, there is nothing, just a photograph where a child used to be. And here is what makes this quietly strange. Other people seem to carry their childhoods with them. They remember the smell of their grandmother's kitchen, the exact feeling of summer before school started again, the sound of a specific song playing in a car on a long drive somewhere. You have the photographs, but not the feeling behind them. And for a long time, you probably assumed that meant nothing happened. That assumption is the part worth sitting with, because the real reason your mind went quiet has a name, and it changes everything about how you see yourself. And here is what that actually looks like in a life, not in theory, in yours. There is a stretch of years, maybe age 4 to 10, that simply does not exist in your memory, not faded, not blurry, gone. And when someone asks about your childhood, your stomach does something before your mouth does. A tightening, a reaching for something that is not there. You find fragments sometimes, a smell that pulls you somewhere you cannot name. A song that makes your chest do something you cannot explain. A feeling that lives in your body but has no story attached to it. Imagine someone holding an old photograph of a child, turning it over, looking for writing on the back that might tell them who this person was. There is nothing written there. And what nobody talks about is the people around you seem to remember everything. School friends, family dinners, the exact layout of a childhood bedroom. You nod along when they talk about those years, but privately, you are nodding at a blank. And sometimes your body responds to things before your mind understands why. A place, a voice, a stranger's cologne. Something tightens, something shifts, and you have no idea where it came from. And this is where it gets quiet. You are not broken. You are not missing something other people have. Your mind did something very specific and very deliberate to protect you. And what that protection actually looked like, the thing that finally explains why your body still reacts to things your mind cannot remember, that is the part that changes how you understand yourself. Stay with this. Your brain did not forget. It filed. There is a process that happens inside a mind that has experienced too much, too early, or too little for too long. When the emotional weight of early life becomes more than a small nervous system can hold, the brain makes a choice, not a conscious one, a survival one. It takes the evidence, the moments, the feelings, the memories that carry too much weight, and it buries them, not forever, just somewhere you cannot easily reach. Call it what it is, the protective blank. The brain's way of saying you do not need to carry this right now, you just need to survive. Imagine a child walking through a house after something difficult happened, quietly closing doors behind them, not locking them, just closing them so they can keep moving, so they can get through the day. That is what your brain did for you. The blank is not a sign that nothing happened. It is proof that something did, because minds only protect what needed protecting, and yours decided very early on that you did. Patricia Bauer, a psychologist at Emory University who spent years studying how children form and lose early memories, found something that stops most people cold. Children ages 8 and 9 remembered fewer than 40% of events from their early years. Not because the events did not happen, because the brain had already begun quietly erasing them. And that was in children with ordinary childhoods. In children who grew up in homes where emotional safety was not consistent, the erasure runs deeper. It forgets the feelings, it forgets the context, it forgets the self that experienced them. What remains is a body that still carries the weight without the story to explain why. Not yet. Your brain did not fail you. It chose you. When the weight of early life became too much to carry and still function, your mind made a decision without asking you. It said, Survival first, memory later, and it kept you moving. Through school, through friendships, through every ordinary day that required you to show up and seem fine. The blank was not an absence, it was armor. Imagine someone opening a room that has been locked for years, not forcing it open, just standing at the door, key in hand, realizing for the first time that they were the one who locked it to keep themselves safe. That was not weakness. That was a child doing the only thing that made sense in the world they were given. And if sitting with this feels heavier than expected, talking to someone you trust or a professional can make more difference than you might expect. Not because something is wrong with you, because you have been carrying the weight of a story you were never allowed to fully remember. And that deserves more than silence. The blank kept you safe, but you are not that child anymore. And safety does not have to mean forgetting. You were not careless with your childhood. You were not inattentive. You were not broken in some quiet way that other people aren't. Your mind simply loved you more than it loved the story. It chose to keep you here, present, functional, breathing, over keeping every detail of what happened in those early years. And the photographs from the very first moment, the birthday cake, the swing set, the hand holding yours, those moments still happened. That child still felt things deeply. The blank does not erase what was real. It only means the filing system needed protecting. Imagine someone sitting quietly in a room full of closed doors, not afraid of them anymore, just sitting, knowing the rooms are there, knowing they can wait. That is not defeat. That is the beginning of something. And if you go back now to the very first photograph, the very first line, you will hear something completely different. Not a mystery about what you forgot, but the moment you understood that the child in that photograph was being taken care of. Even then, even by the silence itself,